This is a continuation on my first video about celibacy. Um, One of the things I was saying was that even as a single woman, um, in this world, when you have any aspirations of your own, and they don't include, relationship or getting married, is not at the top of your list, then people think that something is wrong. And, I know that even in buying a house or trying to buy a house or renovating or whatever it is you're trying to do, people will say things like, "Oh, you know, she got a man, have a man to help her with that." And, why she don't have a man? Why she don't want a man? She must not like me. And this is from women. Now I understand men saying things like that, and they don't understand it because they think totally different. But as a woman today in a society, I don't understand why a woman would say something like that or be so lost that she would even. Why would she even think that? Don't you have your own dreams and desires separate from wanting to be somebody's girlfriend or husband? Don't you have your own separate dreams? And any aspirations that you have as a woman they have to be separate from it, or should be. You're your own person, or should be defined as one before you start trying to join yourself or attach yourself to somebody else in a relationship. Um, or being the other half, because how can you be a better half? You don't even know who you are as that half separately, you know. So I would hear stuff like that, and I do hear things like that. And then on top of being celibate, people find that very, very threatening. I have, which brings me to this video. The main reason for doing it is because I have experienced over 10 years so many ignorant things being said by other adults. It's just really, really sad. This is my way of saying what I think about the things that they have said. It's just been some of the most horrible experience. Um, I know that on a job when I was talking with someone else and who was a believer in the church, and I was wrong. Because I thought that this person would understand where I was at. So when I got to the part about celibacy or whatever it was, they really didn't understand where I was coming from. And I really didn't understand at the time why, but as time went on, I do understand that people who are in church are people who weren't in church at one time. And they don't understand celibacy. It does not relate to you not trying to get none, or you not saving yourself to get married, which I'm not necessarily trying to do. This is just something I choose to do in my life. It brings me a lot of peace. And they don't understand that because they've never made that type of choice. Born out of just choosing not to. Um, they can't understand that because they are with a group of people who think that you must be having sex or something must be wrong with you. You're going to turn into something bad. And this is the consensus, the general consensus in the society. You say celibacy and people, all kinds of things come out of people's mouths. It's just sad on so many levels. I think it's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad. And I don't understand how they raise their children saying and thinking all these things as adults. How do you raise a little girl? And she's 15 or 16. She's hitting high school and she's starting to mature. And you're sending her to school every day. What are you telling her? Because she's not supposed to be having sex. You don't want her to be having sex at 15, 16, 17. It should be about school. It should be about academics all. But in the real world, hormones kick in. They see boys, we all do. And you start liking boys, and therein lies, some of the issues. So how do you keep them? How do you give them the energy every day when they face people at the school who want to tease them for being a virgin? What are these people who have said all these horrible things that I'm going to mention to me? What are they telling their daughters? How are they raising them? What are they sending them out in the world to be? That's what I would like to know. Because I have had, I had allergies, excuse me. I have had people say some of the most ignorant things. I have been on a job, and um, one of the things that happened is that they created this scenario, and I say created because I don't know it to be true. I don't know it to be true. I never met this man. I know who he is. They called his name enough. They threw his name around enough in 2 years, the 2 year period, and they felt free to do so. I don't know why that is, but he is a real person. He is single and very well known in this country. So I don't know why they would do that. Very wealthy man. So I don't know why they would do it, but they did that. And I won't use his name because I don't believe that is true. So these are the things. The scenario was that this man came to the place that we worked at, that I was working at the time with these people. And the scenario was that he saw another coworker and chose her to date, even though that he knew that I was single and celibate. He chose her. You know, she was single, not practicing celibacy, no kids, and all the things that went with that. You know, that he gave her money, and you know, she did all these things sexually, and what his sexual desires were. You know, they made all this stuff known, and how, you know, and I didn't have a problem with that. You know, men make choices every day. Every man is not gonna like me. I'm not gonna like every man. But like I said, I never met him, so how I was a consideration, I have no idea. Um, but these people continued with this story over a 2 year period, and started saying things like, "Oh, referring to me," and what people do when they want to tell you something, they say it around you, and they say it loud enough for you to hear when you're walking past, or whatever it is. It's meant just for you. They talk at you, and females are very good at doing that. We have all had those types of experiences. They're very good at doing that. And so they would never come in my face and say anything like that because they were too afraid of what I was going to say. So they would always be on the sideline. I'm walking past and they want to yell stuff out. Oh yeah, you know, he didn't want her. Sometimes they would say my name, and or he didn't want her. He didn't want that. You know, she too uppity. She too stuck up. She too, you know, just anything. She too matronly. You know, she's celibate now. We don't know how wayward she was. You know, I have people say things like that. And my take on that is like, no, you don't know who I was before I showed up here to work, and I don't know who you were either. You know, so they say some of the most ignorant things, anything to um, take away from the fact that I practice celibacy. They wanted to tear that apart. They wanted to destroy it. And this is what they said, and this is what they did over 2 year people. I mean, period. To do that. So, you know, every day or every other day, they were saying things like, oh, and it was progressive. It started become very vulgar and very profane. They started saying things like, oh, referring to this man, oh, he didn't want to eat that because there's something wrong with her. And he didn't want it. And so and so and so and so, all these types of things. One person, I was walking past two people, and they said there's two females, both have children, and teenagers. And they would say things like, oh, he didn't want to, you know, he just wanted to, he didn't want to take anything away from his celibacy. He just wanted to eat a little. So just disgusting things like that. There was nobody else there celibate but me, and nobody else walking past those two but me. And things like that. It was just horrible to have to experience that every day. And I wasn't gonna up and quit because I had a life. I had a life outside of things. I had bills to pay, and I had a right to my job. I had a right to be there and to work in peace. And they would continue, and it created a hostile work environment. And because if you have people in management saying things like this, what do you think the people underneath them are going to behave like when it comes to this employee, which is who I was? And so they started, because the management sets the tone. So if they're doing it, they think it's okay for everybody else to do it too. The people think it's okay, and this is what they did. So where was I gonna go? Who was I gonna go to support me? Where was I gonna get that support for all these policies that they were supposed to be enforcing? These people in management should have been diffusing the situation. Instead, they were contributing to it, which is really sad, and they were female. So these are the type of things that will continue to be said. There was one instance where this person stood up and said, while she was talking to somebody else, and I was in the vicinity with somebody else. Oh, he said that he got $2,000. If he doesn't want to have sex with her, he don't want to have sex with her. He just wants some and HEAD. So things like that out loud, and we service people there. Anybody could have walked up and heard that. And there were no qualms about saying things like that. So, and a lot of times it is about ethics. And the person that said this was had issues in their own personal life. So she was going with somebody else's husband. This was admitted by her. So, and if you don't think there's anything wrong with that, then she wouldn't think there's anything wrong with saying what she did. So, for people like that, I don't expect much. But see, the thing about it is, just a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people who don't do that, but there are a lot of people who do that, unfortunately. So, and if they, you know. So for her, I didn't expect much, which is sad. We can't expect much from you. They're on the wrong path anyway. So, but this was the general consensus, and they felt that it was okay to do that. These people, that person was beyond the age of 45, which should have known better. She had children of her own. I'm like, how are you raising your children? You run around saying things like this. You're not supposed to. It was crazy. But, as far as they were concerned, I was off of it. I was stuck up. And so nobody was going to listen to whatever I had to say. And I don't know exactly what uppity stuff it means. Does that mean that you show up every day, that you are respectful, you provide a service, and you make sure you try to do that to the best of your ability, for that business? Does that mean that? Yes, then I guess that's what I am. Because that's what I'm supposed to be. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I wasn't confused about what my position was or the way that I was supposed to behave at work. I was not confused. I'm real clear. And but the general consensus now is the more loud, the more lewd, and the more vulgar and sexually promiscuous you are. People, that's the prerequisite for having longevity on a job now, because a lot of people, that's where they are, and they want other people to be right there with them who believe the same way and who behave the same way. That they understand. They don't understand Mr. and Miss. They don't understand how are you and thank you. They don't understand any of that. They understand the attitude. They understand the person. They understand the B's and H's. They understand that. They understand, you know, talking about sex on the job. They understand that. This is one instance where I was in the cafeteria, and there were three, people employees sitting across from me, and at the table, and I started reading things off of their cell phone that a guy had, sent them, and it was explicit, and they read it all off, and then they start calling each other B's and H's. I got up and left. I didn't want to hear all that. I was on my breakdown. I shouldn't have to be subjected to that. You see, once again, if I said anything, then I was uppity. I was stuck up. I was the problem. I left. I left. And that's for management. Because see, a lot of times, if you report something, then you become part of the problem. I had bills to pay. I understood how these people thought. So I just got enough and I just didn't go back unless I knew I was going to be in the area by myself. And that would just eliminate everything. So, because those people were there before I got there. And that behavior just didn't show up just because I had arrived. They had been acting like that. And I had sense enough to know it. So, and I had things to do. So, in my life. And so, you know, during the course of being there, there were other people who were there, who were not employees but were there every day, and who were exposed to the things that the employees were saying about me in regards to this man and him not choosing me to have a relationship with. And then this person went by. I'm standing there doing my work, and he went by and said, "Oh, that's why," I called the man's name out loud, yelled it. "That's why he didn't want to eat that because she funked up the whole hall." So things like that, humiliating things like that. This man was probably in his 50s at the time, and these are the types of things that I had to endure every day. He got that from the employees. They taught him that. They demonstrated that. They were saying things obviously around him about me like that. None of these people know me personally. There is nothing wrong with me. All of it is based on these women's insecurities um, about self. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me. If I didn't know them personally, they didn't know me personally. I never socialized with any of them off of the job, not even to this day. And it's really sad that women, grown women who produce children, would behave like this, would clock in early in the morning and through the course of their day would decide that they were going to say all these derogatory and defaming and vulgar things about me. And it was, it continued. If I was walking behind someone, they thought that because I was celibate, then I had to be gay. So, you get people who are ignorant. They don't know a whole lot. They're not real sophisticated. So if I'm walking behind somebody, moving over to the side, and trying to turn around like I'm looking at them, I was not looking at them. But you can't help to see somebody ahead of you because you are behind them. And that goes for anybody. I don't know how you can avoid seeing somebody that is in front of you. But nobody was intentionally, especially not me, looking at them. So this is the type of things that they would do. And it's sad. And it's so ignorant and I possess everything they have. If I want to see something, I can go home and look at myself. And that's true for everyone. And that's just how I feel. And it's true. So, and I'm not bi. And then, they would say things like that. Oh, she must be bi. She needs to come out. She don't know. I don't need to come out of anywhere because I'm not hiding. I love me. I just don't sleep with me. So, and that's unfathomable for these people who think like this because in order to feel any self-worth or value, they have to be, it has to come from a man. It's not coming from within. This is where they live. This is how they think. And that's why this whole scenario was so significant, whether it's real or not, because this man could be any man. It's not about him or his choices. It's about the way that these people behave toward me. I have no problem with this man at all. He is not responsible for their behavior at all. These are grown women who should be behaving better, who should be more secure within themselves at 30, 40, and 50 years old, who are just not. They are just not, and more than likely, if they're 50 and they're not, they probably will never be. So, but that's a personal problem, and I have sense enough to know that. But as time went on, they would continue to say things. Another employee there decided that she was going to tell everybody what she was doing. So she said in front of several other employees, I was walking up at the time, she said, "Oh, this is how I suck." Called this man's name, the same man in the scenario, called his name, his first name, his penis. And she bent down before we were everybody and demonstrated how she did the head bobbing back and forth. She held it, and then when she was done, this is simulated, you know, she wiped her mouth with the back of her hand and said that he then told her to turn around. And then somebody else said, "Oh, that's Tahiti. That's why you ain't got no key. Because you swallowed them all." You know, things like that. When we're in a workplace, anybody could walk up at any given time. Anybody could have been standing across the way in another area and just looked through the doors and saw that whole demonstration. Anybody, not affiliated. And they're not thinking that they're taking this experience back to them wherever they live 20 or 30 miles away and discuss that, you know, and decide that they don't want to patronize that business again. But see, once again, this is the type of behavior that they were doing before I got there. This is the type of same individual and those individuals watching her. I'm saying the same type of individuals who would give me problems and say, "Oh, she's up and she's stepped up. And she acts so professional because she practices celibacy and she thinks hers is better than everybody else's." This is the way they think, and those are the type of things they said, and those are the type of things, unfortunately, that they did every day. And you know, and if they did it one day, if one that was one day too many, you just should not be on the job and doing things like that, saying things like that. Why is it necessary to tell grown people that you shouldn't behave like that? I understand telling children, but sometimes their parents are absent and they just don't know what they should not do. That's children. These people are grown. They're beyond the age of 18. Those people were all in their 20s and or 40s doing things like that. And it's just so sad. It's just sad. They're not at home, you know, doing that. You know, they're on the job where we are all on the clock, saying and doing all these things. And that is just sad. It's just really, really sad. And the same person who demonstrated that for everyone was the same person that was several months before was telling me, "Oh, that's why we don't like her." You know, it was, you know, a problem. And you know, but because I don't act like that, because they feel here I come, I'm practicing celibacy and heard this through the grapevine, and I'm the problem now. Now, why would that be a problem or a threat to anybody? I don't know. Maybe they thought that they were going to be judged. I'm not there to judge anybody. I'm just a lady on the job. You know, I have my dreams and my desires separate from that, from the job, which we all do. And I have the right to that. And I also have the right to be on the job and not be harassed sexually. Um, Meaning that they don't have the right to be saying all these things, or they didn't have the right. And there was nowhere to go. I didn't report it. Who was I going to tell? That was a small place. There was not a soul there that I believe that did not know the things that were being said and being done. I don't believe there was. There's people in a small place, just like a small town. They talk. They talk. That's one of the things that they are going to do for sure, and everybody knows that. So, but I felt that I was going to be seen as a problem at that time, and I needed my job. I had things to do, and that required money, and that was my job. So I endured it. I put up with it, and it's just really sad when you have people who are supposed to be diffusing the situation and they just don't. It is not like they did not do it. They were participants a lot of times, and if they weren't a participant, then they were condoning it. So I just don't. It's just sad. It's just really sad when you have people who would say things like, "Oh, he said talking about this man again when he saw her." Called by this person, called my name, including my coworker. When he saw her, his went like this, and then when he saw her face, it went like this. You know, things like that. Things like that. Oh, he didn't like her because she always had a pensive look on her face, or coming walking around on a job like that. Yeah, I would be a little bit stressed out. Maybe if that was a real comment from this man, something that he said, then uh, enjoying all that stuff every day would make somebody look a little bit less than thrilled to be there. Who would be happy experiencing all that stuff every day? I don't know of anybody who would be. So, but this was the type of things that they would say, oh, it didn't have anything to do with her self-esteem. He just didn't, she just wasn't his type. He just didn't like her, and he didn't want that, and blah blah blah. Something wrong with her. She must have something. Just anything and everything that could be said was said. If I had on perfume, then I was trying to cover something up. If I didn't have on any, then I needed some. Just anything and everything. Just anything to be ignorant, anything to defame me as a woman. They would coil up next to me and say all these derogatory things to make sure they destroy any positive or any type of attraction that man would have for me. And most of these women, if you let them tell, they have a husband or a significant other, a man in their life. But as time went on, not only did he choose that woman, as time went on, they were saying that he was making some other female there, his choice, meaning that they were involved with him. And, oh, he bought everybody here a pair of shoes but her, meaning that he had given them some type of money or whatever it was. And they were starting saying things like they were involved with him sexually, things like that. And why all women would, a lot of these women would want to be with the same man sexually, I have no idea. But that's not unusual, in a workplace. Sometimes you have people like that. So I don't, it's just unimaginable that a man who is who can travel the world at any given time and not ever worry about money, never have money be a problem for him. It's very well known would come here and be doing all these things that just and considering the things that they did to my character, I just don't believe it. I'm just mentioning it because these are the things that they were saying in relations to me. They dragged me into this situation talking about this man that I have never met. I've seen him, TV, internet, or wherever, and I won't mention whatever else because I don't want to, um, if anybody finds out who it is, it's because of things that they were saying over several year period, and they told a lot of people, and they said his name to a lot of people came in contact with this business over the 2 years that the time that I was there. So that's on them. It has nothing to do with me. But I have every right to talk about what happened with me and the things that they did. And I remember watching this footage about civil rights and how it helped to give me my voice because I'd never really talked about it to anybody. And one of the things was they had this sit-in, and these students went to this restaurant and they sat in a diner and they sat at the counter to be served. And they had all these people sitting behind them, pouring food on them, yelling at them, spitting on them, and just all kinds of things. And I remember thinking to myself last year, thinking like that's me. And it helped me to really look at everything and to give me my voice about it, and to think about what to do about it. And it just because there was a situation where times during the day when we had to sit down and do part of our work. It was required, you had to do it. And I would be sitting down in this area designated for that. And these people would come up, different people from different departments within my department, and they would come and walk up behind me and stand over me, trying to smell me, turning their head and trying to pretend like they noticed something or stepping off and stepping back and all this type of stuff. If I got on the elevator, they would lean back and move away, in the corner or something like that, and or yell things out, if I walked by. Um, they would do this all the time. It got to the point where, if I went to the bathroom, there were a couple of times where people tried to go in the bathroom behind me, just trying to see what the status was in the bathroom, to see if they noticed anything. And they were that disgusting and that perverted, and came out, trying to make comments, trying to act like something was wrong. It was not. But even if it was, those are facilities where people go to relieve themselves. That's what it is for. It's a toilet and a sink in there. And people wash their hands and they use the toilet to defecate, to urinate. Maybe they were sick on the stomach. Maybe they just had gas. But those are the facilities for that. More sophisticated people know that. And I don't care who goes to the bathroom. Sometimes it's not always pleasant when people come out. You don't know what went on in there. It's not supposed to be. That's just the way it is, and it's true for everybody. But you shouldn't have to tell adults that. I understand having to tell children that, but you shouldn't have to tell adults that. And I don't understand why adults would have a fascination with that. Going into the bathroom trying to sniff it. What type of perversion is that? What type of fetish is that? And why would you do that? Why would you even think about doing that? It's just really, really disgusting. But this is who they were. This is who they are. People don't change overnight. At 35, 40, or 50, they don't change overnight. They don't change overnight. And I don't think they ever change. I think they modify their behavior based on what the laws will allow. That's what I think. But you just don't get up one day and become this person that does sick things like that. You don't get up one day and become somebody that just runs out and lies. Either you are that person or you're not. That's what it is. I really believe that. So, um, it's just really sad. But these are the things that people did. These are the things that they said this type of behavior that they displayed every day towards me, and it was just really, really difficult to work in that type of situation with people acting like that. Even it's just really, really sad. I do believe that was really based on the fact that I was not living the way that they were living, because they would say stuff like that. She practiced celibacy and walking past, or she thinks she was good for whatever, and because she practiced celibacy, she thinks everybody else is a hoe, and that's not it. I didn't talk to those people about what they did outside of there. I didn't care. It didn't have anything to do with me. I'm going home to my house, and they were going home to theirs. I was real clear on what my job was and what my role was there, and I didn't take it any further than that. It was them. It was them. They know who they were. Um, Privately, they know. Excuse me. Excuse me. The type of things that they do, and that's really what it was. They knew who they were. It was guilt. It was all about guilt. So it wasn't about me. But I'm doing the video because these things. These rumors, and they have followed me to other places of work, and it just shouldn't be. And people believe rumors. I think that in our life, I don't understand. And in this day and age, everybody is so gung ho about sex that they think that practicing celibacy is something to be ashamed of. It's something that you just don't do. And this was told to me by somebody related to me. Like they told me that, oh, you wear it like it's a badge, like it's something to be proud of, or it's you shouldn't be telling anybody that. And it's just pathetic. There's nothing pathetic about it. It has saved me from so many mistakes and so much confusion and all the things that go on with relationships now today. So it's sad that you have people that are that lost, and that person was female, is female. So it's sad that you have people that are that lost. Um, people just really, no matter how much time they spend time on this earth, they have strange ways or peculiar ways of looking at things. It does not mean that they're wise. I have learned that. I have to turn this off because I can't finish it.